Good morning. You're watching the news here at CNN News 18. We actually have some breaking news to start the day with. Big news for our ace shuttler PV Sindhu. Sindhu has just clinched the Singapore Open. She's defeated China's Wang Zhi to win her maiden Singapore Open title. The two-time Olympic medalist lost the second game but bounced back beautifully in the final, decided to clinch her maiden 500 title of the year 2022. Earlier, Sindhu had defeated Saina Kawakami of Japan in a 32-minute semi-final match. So big news coming in there for our ace shuttler. Let's go over to my colleague Rishi for more details. Rishi, Sindhu's had to go up against China's Wang Zhi before. This is big news, therefore, especially. Could you tell our audiences more context, both about the Singapore Open, but also about the number of matches she's played with China's Wang Zhi in the past?
So, Toya, let's first talk about the Singapore Open. You know, the big thing about the Singapore Open is that it is coming right before the CWC. The CWC games are starting from 28th of July. And, it's a big tournament for PV Sindhu. PV Sindhu is still in hunt for her first gold medal at CWC. So, this win coming at this point of time right before the CWG, it's a big boost. It's a good practice for Sindhu. And then, Wang Zhi is one of those players who will be, again, one of those major opponent of Sindhu in the CWG games as well. So, this will happen right before CWG. It's a big win. Apart from that, this is her third title this year after winning the Syed Modi tournament and the Swiss Open. And remember, this is a Super 500 tournament, as in the number of points that will fetch Sindhu are going to be way higher than the points that she has fetched by winning the first two tournaments this year. So with this tournament, her ranking, which is at 7th at this point of time, is also going to be way, it's going to, maybe we can expect a good big jump in her ranking.
Okay, and now, Rishi, if you could also tell us more about the matches she's played against Wang Zhi in the past and also more about what the rest of the year could look like.
So, Toya, let's start with this match only. So, this was, again, I would say a well-fought match because it wasn't in straight games. Actually, it actually stretched up to 3 games. She won 21-9 and Wang Zhi actually bounced back very well in the second game with an 11-21 win. But then, again, at the end of the day, 21-15, Sindhu played the last game and she won the match. Even in the semi-finals, as you look, Sindhu's performance, she was really, really good. She beat Saina Kawakami of Japan in just 32 minutes. And as far as the coming year is concerned, the CWG, their Asian Games, so at least these two big tournaments coming where India is supposed to, everyone expects a player like Sindhu, who is a double Olympic medalist, to perform well. So yeah, it actually should get, we can look forward to Sindhu winning more medals for India in the tournament CWG and Asian Games from here on.
All right. And Rishi, just checking in with you here, do we have any reaction from PV Sindhu yet? I know this development took place just a few minutes ago.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet, but I'm sure very soon she'll put out something on Twitter, and not just her. I'm sure a lot of, people from India would also be congratulating her. I believe that the sports minister would also be joining the list soon to congratulate her. So nothing yet, but of course, as you have just said, that it has just happened. Give it another half an hour, and I'm sure the whole India would be celebrating it.
Okay, and Rishi, one more question before we let you go over here. If you could once more, just for our audiences, because I think it's particularly important to understand, explain to our audiences why this is called a Super 500. What does that mean?
Super 500, I'll tell you. There's all these tournaments, they have some specific points that they give as far as the ranking of the players are concerned. So Super 500 is one of those tournaments that give a higher number of points when it comes to deciding the rank of the player. So Sindhu at this point of time is as ranked 7th. With winning a Super 500 tournament, she'll get much more points, which will actually move her up the table as far as the rankings are concerned. The earlier two ones were Super 300 that she had won through the earlier in the year. That will not give her as many points. So that's the significance of a Super 500 versus a Super 300. It will help her moving up the ladder as far as the ranking is concerned much faster. And we can expect her maybe reach, I would say 5th or 4th rank whenever the next rankings will come out.
All right, and if you could also bring us more context here, because we know she's worked with Pulela Gopichand intensively, but we also know, I think since 2019, she's had Kim Ji-yoon on her team as her coach. If you could walk us through how the experience with Hyun has changed her playing experience over the last few years in particular, and what this win means for Sindhu and therefore obviously for her fans too.
Yeah. I get the question. See, the way Pulela Gopichand has been with her almost, there was a very brief time, almost, I would say, 1.5 years she was not with Pulela Gopichand. She was training with Vimal Kumar. Apart from that, she was there with Pulela Gopichand all throughout her career. And, to that point of time when she was not with him, there were times she was not performing well. She wasn't in best of her, if she was not performing best of her abilities. Her form also dipped. So now she's back with Pulela Gopichand, back in winning form. And also, those 2 years of COVID that just happened, that thankfully we are out of it. But that also dipped her performance a lot because all of the players were out of practice. And from being out of practice to being in your top form, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time even for the top players like PV Sindhu. But now with PV Sindhu winning the tournament and, her on a winning spree, being with Gopichand, I think all is well as far as the Indian badminton is concerned.
I just want to tell our audiences, stay with us please, Rishi, while I tell our audiences that particularly why this is also a big deal. Her coach, Coach Park, had said at the start of the year that he wants her to play more, win more. She's done exactly that. And as Rishi was saying a little while earlier, this is her third title of 2022. But Rishi, if you could explain to our audiences, as you were saying, this will also give her a lot of confidence for the CWG, which is upcoming. What is the CWG and what's the importance of it in the badminton world?
Well, CWG is CWG is one of the biggest tournaments as far as the badminton fraternity is concerned, and CWG an Asian game. So we all know, we have been covering it since really some time now. So CWG is one of those tournaments where PV Sindhu has been still struggling to win a gold medal, and that's one of those biggest, for a player who has already won 2 Olympic medals, not winning a CWG gold is one of the biggest, things, I would say one of the things that are there on the mind of a player, that yes, because CWG, the level of the CWG is, I'm not demeaning CWG, but it's way lower as compared to Olympics. In Olympics, you have, players across the globe, while in CWG and even in Asian Games, you have limited athletes that compete. So for a player of caliber of Sindhu not winning a CWG gold till now, there's some mental block. See, we all know about her abilities. That's never in question. So a player caliber of Sindhu should have won a CWG gold by now, I would say. But now with these wins coming right before the tournament, I'm sure she'll go into the tournament, the CWG, with a very good frame of mind, and I believe that that elusive gold medal is just round the corner. I think she's going to win it this time.
All right, Rishi, thank you so much for those updates. For our audiences, we're going to move on very quickly, but a huge win for the Indian sporting fraternity and obviously, as we see, for PV Sindhu and for badminton. We're going to move on very quickly from this story, but right before we do, just to fill you in more when it comes to what this win means and what it represents. As you know already, Sindhu's not had the best of records on the BWF World Tour level events so far. But as we'd said a little while earlier, her coach had said that he wanted her to play more and win more. The third title that she's had of 2022, you saw her right as she clinched that title, thanking the Singaporean crowd and saying that this will give her a lot of confidence for the CWG. Now, it's important to note that this is also her first Super 500 title of the year. It's a huge win, and obviously for her coach, who we talked about a little while earlier, Coach Park, who said exactly this, that he wanted to send her out more, wanted to see her win more. This is obviously also a big, big win. Now, in the final, it was 21-9, 11-21, 2015. You saw a superb rally also coming in from Wang Zhi. There were multiple pressure points, but as you saw, Sindhu actually won toward the end with a good balance of pressure through the entire game. Now, after we've brought you this very brief overview of this match and the news that we're getting in from a few minutes ago, that Sindhu has won that match where she's taken on, remember, Wang Zhi, who we were talking about right now, is an Asian champion. She's faced off with Sindhu multiple times. These are two people who've seen each other in match before quite a few times already, which is why